Hello, Ken. We're going to go ahead and get class started. We'll probably have some of the other students as they arrive now. But welcome to our Sunday, August 9th, 2026 writing reading class. Hope you had a good week. Let's go ahead and get started. Just give me a one in the chat room to let me know you can hear me. Perfect. And so we'll start off today with our quote. We'll get into some expansion on that. We'll do a reading with the quiz. We'll talk about some vocabulary and then talk about some theories for good writing and then introduce a new book. Angela, can you go ahead and read our quote over on the left?
I will not be reprimanded.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
I will not be trim
Triumphed.
triumphed over.
Excellent. And this was a quote by Cleopatra. I will not be triumphed over. What is Cleopatra meaning when she says this? What does she mean by I will not be triumphed over?
I'm not sure what triumphed means.
Ken, any idea what this phrase means? Or what the word triumph means?
It's almost similar that you like triumph means like you are congratulating something and like you're celebrating. Maybe you're just happy to a person. Triumph
Uh,
is just action for another person.
Not quite. Alice, do you know what the word triumph means?
Not really.
Okay, well, the word triumph means to win over against someone else or against something else. To triumph is to win. So, thinking about Cleopatra, if you're familiar with this person in history, why would she say this? Why would she say this? Anyone have any thoughts? Okay, well, before I explain the quote, let's go ahead and learn about Cleopatra, and then this quote will probably make more sense for you. Follow along as I read. Cleopatra, who reigned as Queen of Egypt during the first century BC, is one of the most famous female rulers in history. In 51 BC, Ptolemy the seventh died, leaving the throne to 18-year-old Cleopatra and her brother, the 10-year-old Ptolemy the eighth. It is likely that the two siblings married, as was customary at that time to keep power and wealth in the family. Soon after they assumed power, complications arose between Cleopatra and Ptolemy the Eighth. Eventually, Cleopatra fled to Syria, where she assembled an army to defeat her rival in order to declare the throne for herself. In 41 BC, Mark Antony, part of the second triumvirate that ruled Rome following the murder of Caesar, sent for Cleopatra so that she could answer questions about her allegiance to the empire's fallen leader. Captivated by her beauty and personality, Antony plunged into a love affair with Cleopatra. Antony, who presided over Rome's eastern areas, saw in Cleopatra the chance for financial and military support to secure his own rule over the empire. Cleopatra had her own motivations as well. In exchange for her help, she sought to the return of Egypt's eastern empire, which included large areas of Lebanon and Syria. In the centuries since her reign, the life of Cleopatra has captivated historians, storytellers, and the general public. Her story resonates because of what she represented in such a male-dominated society, in an era where Egypt was ruled by internal and external battles. Cleopatra held the country together and proved to be as powerful a leader as any of her male counterparts. Now, let's go back to the quote. And now, who can explain the quote? I will not be triumphed over. Alice, can you explain the quote?
Um, I'm not really know what this mean, what the quote mean.
Okay, we said triumph means to win. Ken?
Mm, is this telling that she'll never lose?
That she will never lose. That's right. So, not necessarily that she will never lose, but also that no one will ever defeat her. She will always win. She will always win against her adversaries or her opponents. Now, let's see if we can answer some questions from the reading. Number one, why was it common for family siblings to marry each other? Question number two, what actions did Cleopatra take to build her legacy? And then finally, question number three, why are people so fascinated with Cleopatra? Now, I'll go ahead and copy all three questions over to the reading so that you can refer to them or uh to the chat room so that you can refer to them. And then I'll go back to the reading and go ahead and find all three answers to the reading. Once you've found the answers, you can raise your hand or we'll start discussing once the time is up. Okay, let's go ahead and take a moment to answer some of the questions. Ken, let's start with you. Why was it common for family siblings to marry each other?
Maybe it was some of their tradition. The parents have to have a lot of children and make them marry.
What did it specifically say in the reading?
Oh, it says that the mom and dad, the parents no, yeah,
Not sure?
the it says that their dad mom died and there's only a guy named Portugal free and the
Okay,
girl,
so
the
so
woman.
so when you explain the response, it's not that you read the text, it's that you put it into your own words. Do you need some help?
Ask Alice. She's raising her hand.
Uh-huh. Alice?
So I remember is that because marry each other can can make the the family wealthy and their power they can um like they won't miss their power and and they will still be wealthy.
Okay. So yes, so the idea is that, and this has happened throughout history, when we think about times where there were kings and queens and emperors, many times families would only marry within their family. The reason being is because if they brought another family line into that family, then they would have to share the wealth and also share the power. So by having people marry within the family, that was a way to maintain wealth and also keep the power limited to who actually would have power. And that's why when we think about kings and queens, there's not many of them in comparison to um, the other people that lived in the area because of that principle is to keep the wealth within the family. Angela, number two, what action did Cleopatra take to build her legacy?
Um, uh, she she held the country together.
Explain more.
I remember she proved power,
To what?
proved power.
How? You're gonna give me a lot more details.
Um,
Do you need help?
yeah.
Ken, do you remember?
Mm, uh, she she made uh, well she made more soldiers, more arms, more
No,
troops, and
no.
she ex
So I'm only looking for things that are actually written in the writing. So
she formed
we
alliance
can't
with
fabricate things. We can't make up things. We can't guess. We're looking to see that you can gather the material directly from the writing source. Alice?
I didn't find the answer
Okay.
for this question.
All right, let's go back, everyone. Take a look at the first and also, well, it's actually in every paragraph. There's a little bit in every paragraph which explains how um, what actions she did, specific actions she did to build her legacy. And make sure that you can give me, I'm looking for three things that she did. Three things that she did. Okay, Ken?
First thing she did um, was to declare war with her rivals of becoming queen.
Now, who was her rival?
Uh,
So as we see in the first paragraph, her rival was her brother. She ended up killing her brother for power. The one person that she was married to. What's another thing that she did to build her legacy?
he aligned with the fallen empire, no, the fallen leader of the empire, Anthony or something,
Well, he
and who
wasn't,
leaded Rome.
yes. So the
While
fallen empire, so the fallen,
Caesar was murdered, so it was Anthony who led it. Now,
yes. So Caesar was the fallen empire. So her alliance and Mark Antony was a soldier, a very respected soldier, the leader, a general. And so she saw alliance by building an alliance with him that this
in
could give her an
murder.
opportunity. Hold on one second. This could give her an opportunity to also expand her empire. And what was the last thing that we learned about that she did? It was actually the first thing we talked about that she did. So as we talked about, she married her brother. As we said, one of the things that families did is to keep power, is they kept the wealth and power in the family by marrying each other. All right, Alice, the final question. Why are people so fascinated with Cleopatra? Alice.
Uh, maybe because um she has lots of armies and
So
and
think for a second about this period in time. Think about the relationship of men and women.
whoa, or maybe she is the first queen of Egypt
Okay, and why is that significant?
because uh because if a woman became become queen, maybe they are very powerful and people and maybe people want she to marry them.
Was it common for women to be in a position of power?
No,
It was not. And throughout history, that's actually been something that has been a common thing, is to have women in very powerful positions is a rarity. It's not a normal thing we see. So her being a woman of great power at such not only during this early period in history was quite an accomplishment. But also, we can see within that also her personality, the things that she did to maintain and to grow power. For these reasons, she has also she's been a fascination for a lot of people. Besides that, as well, as we learned, she was also a beautiful woman. She was very attractive. So the combination of all of these things are what created such a fascination and interest for people over the years with Cleopatra. All right, well, we're going to discuss some vocabulary from the text. Customary, allegiance, presided, rolled, and counterparts. What I'd like for you to do is take two of the vocabulary words and use them in a sentence. Then we'll check your sentences. You can submit it to me privately in the chat room. We'll check the sentences to make sure the meanings are correct. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the writing. If you want to submit, just go ahead and start to quickly wrap up. Ken, let's take a look at yours that you sent. You wrote, once there was a king, he presided over California, and recently he formed an alliance with the nearby country Mexico. Together they defeated the incoming intruders. Okay, very good. Now, there's one suggestion that we need to make here. I'm going to fix uh, your punctuation for you need a period. You need to replace one of these periods with a comma. Which one should we do? Is it the one after King or the one after California? Which one should we fit? Should we change to a period?
Mm, this is a hard decision.
No, it's actually there's a one correct answer here.
Okay, okay. The one your mouse is on?
So the second one?
Yeah.
No, this was actually the first. Now let me explain why.
Mm,
The relationship that you talk about, California and the allegiance, because you do not have because you have a and already placed there, we can't put all of them in the same sentence because it's three independent clauses. So we should put the period here. because the information of the two sentences relate more closely to each other. And that's my choice for when we have to decide, should I keep two sentences together? We think about the information. Many times when you're making statements, you might introduce an idea to give us the setting, and then you give us the plot or what is actually occurring in the sentence or at a story, which is the case here. We first know the setting is a king, and then we start to understand about this alliance that this person is making between California and Mexico.
Oh,
One other thing we're going to add is we're also going to add a comma after together.
okay.
But as far as the use of your words, that is correct. Well done. Okay, let's take a look at yours, Angela. You said I was presided over for a math meeting for the class teacher, but my friend roiled me when I was preparing and created a big problem. Okay, so when you said presided over, what did you mean?
Um, Prepared
No,
or
presided over means to be in charge of. So you might say something like this. Um I was asked to preside over a math a math test for my teacher. So what this means now is that you were in charge of watching the other students who were taking a test. That would work. But my friend roiled me when I was preparing. This part doesn't quite fit now with the rest of it. Maybe if we just said, maybe if we said my friend rolled me by making a lot of noise and created a big and big trouble. Rolled me up by making a lot of noise. That would work. Ken, I want to go back to yours for a second because I'm looking at the second this second word that you used, and I want to make it work a little bit better because really what we should say in your sentence is he recently formed an alliance, not
Oh,
allegiance. So what you could say
oh, sorry,
instead would
sorry,
be
sorry.
like this. You could
Sorry.
say, and recently
I wanted to
asked,
say
let me give you a suggestion here. Asked,
asked to align.
I just want, no, 1 second. And asked for an allegiance with the nearby country, Mexico. By now, we'll be saying ask for because the allegiance needs to be something that is spoken about, whether it's asked or whether it's pledged. So that now makes allegiance works better. Okay,
Okay.
let's take a look at Alice. Alice, you wrote, The school has a very strange customary, which is to be allegiance with the teachers. Okay, let's talk about how we can make yours work. What you're talking about, customary is an adjective. You're wanting custom, which is the noun form. So let's keep customary as an adjective. Let's say the school has a strange rule that is customary. Now that works that we can describe customary as an adjective, which is to be allegiance to a teacher. Now, similar to what I was talking with Ken, we need to either ask, there needs to be some sort of saying a conversation when we use this word. So what we oftentimes, a word you see, a collocation that you see oftentimes with allegiance is to pledge, which means that you say that you are faithful to the teachers. So that would work in your sentence. All right, very good. Okay, everyone, let's talk for a second. We've been talking about conditionals for a couple weeks now. We're on the final step of this, but this is to understand that the word if, when we use it in conditionals, whether it's zero, first, second, or third, can be replaced with one of these variations. Provided that, unless, as long as, so long as, and so on down the list. But the meanings of these are specific. Let's look at them individually. Provided that. Who can explain provided that? If I were to use that in a sentence, what am I expressing? Alice? Any idea? Do you know this word, provided that?
Maybe is like some people or an organization give you something
No,
that you don't need to give them money.
no. That's just provide. Ken?
Maybe that they give you some service or stuff.
No. You guys are thinking of, you all are thinking about provide, just the word. Provided that means something different. Provided that means that this is a requirement. This is a requirement. And it's a formal requirement. We can also think of requirement as a stipulation. So something must occur. I'll give you an example. Provided that you are early to the meeting, we will start it 5 minutes ahead. So this for formal requirement. What about unless? Unless. Angela, any idea for unless?
Like but if
What do you mean?
like um it's like a requirement also, but
What's different
it's
about this though?
a uh
Let me help you out. Whenever you use unless, a part of your sentence is negative. This is used with negative sentences. Let me give you an example. Unless he comes, I won't go to the party. Unless he comes, I won't. We use it with negation. As long as, so long as. Ken, do you know what this means?
As long as I I'm not late, I'm fine. I'm fine with the idea.
What does it mean? I didn't want a sentence. I want to know the meaning.
Means I'll only do so if something doesn't happen.
Not quite. As long as or so long as has to do with duration. This has to do with a duration of a period of time. Duration of time within the condition. Let me give you an example. As long as he is there, I will stay. So we're talking about the period of time that's passing that the condition occurs. In case or in case that. Alice, what does this mean? In case or in
No.
case that. In case is a prevention, it's a warning. Bring an umbrella in case it rains. Once again, these are all replacing if. If I could say bring an umbrella if it rains, but I'm replacing with in case to give more specific as a prevention. Angela, do you know what should is?
Um, uh, uh, like a recommend.
No, it's not being used as that direct way. As it's not being used as we use it for modal situations. And a conditional should is when you think the action is not likely or the condition is not likely. The condition is not likely. Let me give you an example. Should he win the lottery, I will be happy, but I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's likely to happen. Only if, Ken, only if.
Oh. Or maybe it's about when
I'm sorry?
maybe it's about
Let me help you out. Only if is when we have an absolute requirement. So it's an obsolete requirement. Provided if we talked about also as a formal requirement, but only if we could use when we're talking about something that is, it must occur. Only if you clean your room can you go outside and play. If only, Alice, if only. 1 second, everyone.
It's like it's not absolute.
I need to do a quick pause. I'll be right back, everyone. Alice, I believe you were trying to explain if only.
Uh, it is not absolute for someone to do something.
No. So we use if only if the situation is a regret. If only I had known, if only I had known you were coming, I would have cleaned the house. Something that we regret. And then, Angela, what about except if?
Uh, like, yeah, like a requirement.
So this is a similar requirement. As it says in the word, it's an exception. Exceptions to a situation. They will bring an umbrella except if it's not raining. They will bring an umbrella except if it's not raining. Now, let's see if we can use some of these in situations where you decide which one is the correct one to use. Let's take a look. In this exercise, you're going to be given a situation and you decide what would be the correct way to complete the sentence. We're going to use if only, unless, should, in case, only if, or as long as or so long as. Number one, it says the only way to get good results is to study hard. You won't get good results. Which one is the correct ending for this? You won't get good results. Ken, any idea?
You won't get good results unless you study.
Unless you study hard. That is correct. Notice the sentence is negative during the condition part. You won't. We use unless with the negative situation. Correct. Alice, take a look at the next one. We could go home early under the condition that we left the classroom tidy. We could go home early. We could go home early.
Mm, we could go home.
And we'll
We
say
could
here,
go home early
mhm,
unless.
not unless. That would have to be a negative sentence, but we could go home early is not negative.
Oh, in case.
In case is prevention. We're not trying to prevent anything here. So the,
Only if.
so the correct answer here is only if, talking about a requirement. We could go
Okay.
home early, only if we left the classroom tidy. Only if, talking about a requirement. Angela, how about number three? You might get bored on the journey, so take a good book with you.
In case,
How would you complete the sentence?
in case you might get bored.
Take a good book on the journey with you in case you might get bored. That is correct. This is talking about preventative. Let's do another round of this. Ken, take a look at number 4. There's a small chance you could win the lottery if you play every day.
As long as
A small chance. A small chance.
if only.
No? So this is should because we use should when something is not likely to happen. We have the keyword small chance, which is letting us that know that this is what is most appropriate. So how would you use it with should? How would you make the sentence with should? Remember, this is replacing the if. So the should is replacing the if. Where's the if in the sentence? So in number 4, we have the sentence that says, there is a small chance you could win the lottery if you play every day. We replace all the conditional variations with if. So you say, should you play every day, winning the lottery might be easy. You replace the if with the conditional variation. Angela, take a look at number 5. I would have never done that if I had known what would happen.
Um, only if.
Only if is a requirement.
Uh,
This sentence is about regret.
uh,
So this answer is if only. If only is about regret. If only, can you figure out how to put this in the sentence?
if if only I had known what would happen.
And finish the rest of the sentence?
Have never done that.
Correct. If only I had known what would happen, I would have never done that. And then Alice number 6, come sit with us since you are here for the show.
Um, uh, as long as,
Complete the sentence.
As soon as you were here for the show, come sit with us.
As long as you are here for the show, come sit with us. That's correct. So you see, many times when we make conditional statements, they're based off the original 0 through 3 conditionals, but we do not say them with if all the time. We use a conditional variation, which has a very specific meaning. So if you found that a little difficult, I encourage you to practice those a little bit more. Try creating some sentences with them so that you can get used to using some of these variations in your everyday language. This week, we have a new book. I'm sorry. Oh, let me mute you, Alice. We have a new book for today. This is The Last Battle, part of the series of the Chronicles of Narnia, if you're familiar with this series of books by C.S. Lewis. Here's a little bit about the author and a short description of the book as well. For this week, I want you to think about our new vocabulary words and how we talked about the meaning and usage and placement of conditional variations. For your writing assignment, I want you to ask yourself, if you found a magic lamp and was granted one wish, what would it be and why? Write no more than 400 words, and you can submit that to the forum within the next 7 days for edits. On the page afterwards, you'll find the sentences complete with the words of the day, along with the answer key to check your answer. If you'd like to get started with the exercise, I'll go ahead and post the link. Just click on the link and then request access, and then I'll be able to grant that to you. There's the link there. But any questions as we wrap up for today? All right, then I will see you all next week. Have a good week. Bye now.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.
Bye.